I look very similar, just same facial features, same complexion, kind of hair. My hair is similar, but my body is more, not muscular, more like athletic. I don't have these big, round. Do you understand what I mean? I don't want to be graphic. You understand, right? So I chose an avatar that's more expounded on probably something I thought I lacked. Okay. So in this realm, I look like, but when I woke up in that realm, we were naked. And I think I told you before that when I woke up with one of the women, she looked like a woman, but she had a penis. And it kind of messed me up a little bit. I'm sorry, y'all. She looked just like a girl, but she had a penis. And in that world, I don't know that I was shocked, but I did look and I felt a little vulnerable being naked. It's weird. I had my body parts. I had a yoni, I could tell. And she was female. She was very petite, just a lunar looking female, very petite, but she had a male apparatus. And when we put clothes on, we just took this little bit of like a clay thing, a little thing, and put it on like here, and it created clothing all over us. It literally melded clothing on our entire body, like a uniform. So it was like a little piece of like, I don't know, like clay or something. It felt like clay, and we just put it on here, and it literally created clothing on our entire body. Okay. I think I told you guys about that before. But yeah, I don't know. And makes me also think, is that why they're generating all this trans stuff? Is it because of that over there? Because that exists? Like, I don't know. I can't tell you. Why I mention this is because I personally know I'm in a cryo state and I'm living in this thing, and we are underneath water. Where it comes some sort of like, I would say almost like the ship is like a Nebuchadnezzar. You know how in Matrix, the Nebuchadnezzar was in the bowels of the sewers? We're in a ship. That's why I think that whole thing of the simulation, we project these things, and these are the truth of where we are. We're under the water. We're in some sort of like, our ship looks almost like it's got terrain in there and grass and terraformed to be inside that looks, like, how you have grass and so on, but it looks almost like a submarine. So the Nebuchadnezzar, the first time I saw the Nebuchadnezzar, not the Nebuchadnezzar, or the thing that was underneath, right? Underneath the like an ark, yeah, underneath the city when they had the Matrix, it was so familiar to me. But we're living in this simulated. I don't know why I'm allowed to wake up every once in a while from my cryo state. It only happened a few times, and it's not long. It's a very short period of time, but I go to sleep and I'm just back in. But I feel like why I share this with you is because the male who I'm attached to, there's two people I'm attached to, but the male I'm attached to, the one that I pick in all of the simulation, I always pick him. I always pick his look. I always pick a man that looks like him in a simulation. That he showed, like, even that's how I know I'm creating this. Even in Colombia, like flying over, going through Bogota, the same male shows up at the airport. The same look, and he stares at me. That's what I'm saying. I always tell you, like, my type is my type, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's because it's part of the simulation, and I created this being in my world because he's reminiscent of the man that I'm attached to outside the simulation. Because he's everywhere. So weird. So maybe your type, y'all, is because the people that you're attached to outside of here could very well be look like the things you're generating here. I don't know. Mine is, and he's interfacing with me physically right now. I don't want to get too deep into it. Like, I don't want to be perverted because some of you are not mature enough. So I know most of you are, but some of you are not mature enough to hear this conversation because the intimacy and stuff, I think that's too much for this kind of social media. I'll discuss it later. I kind of talked about the Zoomies a little bit, but I'm experiencing physicality with him. And I don't know if that's what he's supposed to be doing with me while I'm in the simulation. I don't know. And someone else is experiencing it out of the group. So I don't know if he's supposed to, we're acting, we're doing stuff together. And I don't know if that's supposed to be happening while I'm inside of the cryo state. it wasn't happening before. It happened when I left. And it could be maybe I'm close to reset. So maybe he's just excited for me to wake up. I don't know. But it's him. I could smell him, I feel him. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just had, anyway, it's too much information. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep it PG because it's before 12 midnight, y'all. Sometimes I could get a little saucy and a little too much, because I don't really have a bar. So I don't want to, I don't know that he's a twin flame. I don't know. I don't know that he's a twin flame. I know that is my partner, but he's not the only one. I don't want to go into that. He's not the only one, but he's the partner. Like, you ever see, what's the one, Wheels of Time? Wheels of Time? Do you guys know Wheels of Time? You ever see Wheels of Time? Anybody? Let me know if you saw Wheels of Time. Did you? Anybody? No? Yeah, okay. Remember Wheels of Time, the women are assigned a warder? Like, he's water to her, and he's the one who protects her and takes care of her. He's always with her, like, even when she takes baths. Like, it's like semi-intimate, but not intimate. It could be intimate, right? And then you saw another one who had a warder that lost their partner, their link, and then they ended up having like a threesome because the two warders were linked. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not doing this in real life. No, I'm just telling you. Like, I'm talking about the show. Like, the other one had one of their mates had passed, so the three of them got together. It's kind of like that's how it is in that world. That's why I think that they put restrictions on us relationship here, because they don't want us remembering what we are out there. We don't really see relationships as like bondage there. It's a bind. It's a bond. It's a long-term bond. Like, that male that was sleeping next to me, I've known him. I smell that man, and I've known him. I don't even, it's a smell that I've always known. It's something I've always known this man, like, in every single way. So he isn't a foreigner to me. Like, he's in my cells. That's how much I know this person. But it's almost like those are life partners. But it's not that you stay with someone to bind to them. It's just something different. It's not the same. Like, the way I feel when I saw him, it wasn't like, you know how you get married here, or you get married and you always feel like you have to like uphold to like your duties, or you have, at least that's how I felt as a wife. When you always have to, sometimes you have to kind of sacrifice certain things for the other person. Like, it isn't like that. The way I felt with him was more of like I can't explain, like it's a bond, but it's like, it's not like for sex. It's not selfish. It's not, he has to have me, I have to have him. It's not that. It's something else. It's something else. It's something better, healthier. It's not possession, though. You know what I mean? I can't, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's something beyond this. And I think that's why they make it so difficult for us in relationships, and we don't do well here, because the way we mate over there is healthier. Is healthier. He isn't my only partner, but he's the one who watches over me. He's the one that makes sure I'm safe. And that's the one who's doing things with me physically in my pod. And I wake up. Yeah, so it's him. But so I think we need to reevaluate like relationships, because they're making it wrong. Like, the way that they make it is wrong here. It's not the same. We mate with these partners. It's different. It's not, it's like it's a bond. It's just a bond. It's not like you're a slave to it either. It's not like you can't love someone else or be with someone else. It's not that. It's just something different. It's a very natural bond. Like, when I see him and I've smelt him, I was around him, it was like a bond. Like, he's my partner. Maybe that's why I always say the name mate. Maybe that's why I always said mate. He's like my mate. But every man that I've chosen, And y'all who know me, if you see my ex-husband and you see the guy I was with, they look just alike. I have a type, and it's a typecast. I can't break it. And anywhere I go, my type wants me. So it's something I'm co-creating. My type, I'm his type. Like, I just went through the airport and my type saw me saw me down the hallway and nearly broke his neck. It's crazy because my type is my type. I'm typecasting it. It's me creating it in this matrix, and me, all those types that I'm geoengineering are him. It's all him. I mean, so I think, and I'm not the only one having, and maybe some of you want to share this, and you don't have to, but some of you may be having like sexual experiences and it's not in physical, and it's not an incubus and succubus. I'm not having sex with random people. I'm nobody. Okay. But I'm saying, like, there's another person that I know who's also having physical contact with the other. So I don't know if this is part of waking us up. Is it like a reminder to wake us up? Like, what? I don't know. But they're physically having intimacy with us. Like, they're intimate with us. And it's full. It's not partial. It's not a wet dream. I thought it was at first. No, it's full. And the only way that I felt it was outside of the dome. That's when it started, but it hasn't stopped. Have you been experiencing that, Marilyn? I think maybe some of you are. And maybe because I didn't think it was, maybe at this time, it could be part of the waking up process. Have you ever watched Inception? I don't know if you get a chance to watch Inception. Is it Inception? No, is it Inception? Yeah, I think it's Inception. Watch how you wake up in layers, because you can't just wake up out of the simulation. There's layering effects, and you have to qualify to wake up out of the simulation. Maybe that's part of the process. Like, we see sex as something different. Maybe we see something different. Maybe, am I a breeder? I don't know. I could be. It could be something different. Maybe it's a way of waking us up, like reminding us of something outside of here. I don't know. But it can't just be just that it's me. There's a couple people that it's happening to. So I have to think maybe this is a process. And it's not just a female. It's a male who's experiencing this. So it's not just like, I can understand I'm a female, so maybe I'm a breeder. But why is the male experiencing it? Could it be a breeder too? Maybe. But it's something happening. So I think at this time, because we're so close to reset, and we wake up out of the simulation, y'all, there's going to be a day where, if you guys are in the same thing as I am, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to wake up in your pod. And it's going to, it'll be like Freaky Friday. You ever see Freaky Friday? Waking up in a different body. Okay. Some of you are going to wake up in your pod. And you need to be prepared for that. Because the time I woke up out of the pod, it was random. And I don't know why they woke me up, something I had to do. But this one day, and I know we leave, I know the part of this process, we leave before full reset. That's why I think they're doing so much in the simulation. And I don't think the simulation is meant to trap you here, but if you aren't qualified and you haven't graduated to an awareness and a qualification to wake up, it's just going to keep you stuck here until you qualify to wake up. So it's like you have to be in a certain kind of energetic mindset to wake up. Now, the psychopaths and stuff that are here, I think they just messed up so much, they don't want to wake up. And they found a way to geoengineer the world to make the landscape, their desires, everything they want. So all those psychopaths here, they're like parasites now. They want to stay down here. They're not trying to wake up. Okay. Or maybe they lost their bodies up because they did crazy things and they basically took their bodies off of the machine. Maybe they're stuck here like triple OGs, so maybe that's why they're here. So I think it's interesting that before reset, you're going to be as challenged as you possibly could be, because I think the only way that you'll be unhooked or wake up out of the simulation is you would have to be in a mindset that qualifies you. It's almost like a test of a captain, or, you're getting test on your qualifications to be someone in a certain, ranking. You know what I mean? So I just think it's very, very interesting that that might be the case. So I think if you're so caught up, like I think there's layers to this, and I think you eventually can come out of it, the simulation. But I think that simulation might be literally a program to develop one to higher states of capacity. Maybe you have to lead people. Maybe this is the training program we all come to be led. Maybe because I know I come here personally, and I know I come here and I help, and I know I'm coming here for specific people that got caught up a little bit in here. But I think that just could be, you know, part of the training process. Like someone gets caught up and they weren't supposed to be here that long, and I got to go get my team. But just, I just thought I'd share that. So anyway, y'all, I know I kept you a long time. Give me opinions. Let me know what you think. I'm open and receptive. I think a lot of people too would love to hear your opinions as well. To see if you're experiencing some of these things. What do you think about jumping domes and breaking the dome, kind of making it permeable? I'm accessing beings outside of here. So something I did, probably going through the multiple domes and triggering myself and rising up. I think that's what I'm meant to do. I've always said, now at this point, I understand and overstand that I'm kind of like a Moses figure. I don't think I'm maybe one. I may be one of many, but I'm like a Moses, like a female Moses. And you know how Moses cracked open the Red Sea? I think I just did it. I think I might have cracked open the domes. You know what I mean? I think that all energetically actually is true. I think the story kind of develops in different ways. So I think me going and doing this and sharing this was me being a Moses figure, and those who are aligned with it and connected to that, it's me opening up that seal, that 7th seal. Because the 7th seal is how you get out of here. The 6 is the dome, and 7 is out. And it's interesting that Jewel Brookman talked about the 7 circuits of the brain. And I talk about 6 being the ceiling and 7 being outside of the dome. So it's interesting she said that. I thought that was so fascinating because I never connected the 7 circuits of the brain being forms of activation. Like she talked about the reptilian brain is the first one. Then you had the insectilian brain, which is the second. Then she talked about the avian brain being the third. You got to listen to it. Like 7 chakras. So it's all interconnected. And like, are you still in your base chakra? You know what I mean? You got to get through these layers of the 7 circuits or the 7 seals, right? Or with any sort of amphibian. I'm just not the broadcast for you today. Hello, Sister Sagitt. Oh, hey, Antonio. Melissa. Hola. Hey, Joseph. Hey, Charles. This is an emergency broadcast, and I don't know how long they'll let it stay up. So I figured I'd do it tonight. You guys summoned me. I mean, I've been getting so many emails telling me, where are you? Why aren't you coming on? We're scared. Don't be scared. I know, Jose. Check on it. So I'll wait until we get to 500. Okay. So as you see, I am not in your neck of the woods probably anymore. I've left the country again. I am in South America. That's why it's winter here, and I'm actually clothed. Normally I don't wear clothes, y'all. So while you guys are a little hot, I'm a little cold. You thought of me yesterday, Rosero? Oh, I miss you too, Bridget. You guys, I mean, I got a call yesterday asking where was I, why am I not coming on live, what's going on? And I didn't want to scare you, so I figured I had a little bit more time. Ribbit. John Quan is like, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. So like I said, look at this amazing backdrop. I'm never in a city. You like my outfit? It's kind of, my daughters don't, one of my daughters doesn't like this shirt. But this is age appropriate for me. Hey, AJ. Aw. Hey, Yatif. So wait until we get to 500. How's everybody doing? We're going to talk about the Zeros and their dastardly diabolical plot. I'm going to really make an emergency message for you guys. I know you've conjured me out of my solitude. Usually Zumbi see me every week, but you guys have been requesting for me. So check on in. I don't, yeah, you may need headphones. Remember, Jasmine, you know, sometimes Fleur Brun, I always pay attention to the little people, but you know, sometimes I may slip. I am an amphibian. I really can't watch where I hop. So headphones would be safe if you have little people because I want to keep them safe, okay? I'm doing well, Kate. Quoi de neuf? Okay. Bonjour, bonjour. Ça va? Ça va très bien, everyone? How about that? Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Konnichiwa. Jumbo. Okay. Can't help where you hop. Listen, I'm an amphibian. I can't be strung in. Hey, Renata. Renata. Hello, my love. Renata's over in Brazil. She is over in Rio de Janeiro. It's not as cold here, though. Ça va, merci, merci, merci. Je suis top. Okay, so I'll wait until we get to 500 and then I'll start. Once I start, you know I go on a rampage. I don't have something to hold up my phone, so I hope you forgive me. My hair is not really messy. I just have my hat on because it is cold outside and we came from outside not too far long ago. So I got my feet kicked up. I got the city landscaping on the back that I actually love. And then we're gonna get into it. And this is a little bit of a very piloted conversation. So like I said, when our CSAR said, should she put headphones on? I always say, for the protection of your children, I am a frog, a trans frog. Sometimes I don't know what I'll talk about or do. I may ribbit every once in a while. That might be offensive to your family dynamics. If that is something you can't handle, then this may not be the podcast for you. And I have to hold up my phone because I don't have my, you know, my little gadget thing. You know, sometimes I'm really slow on the technology, so I'll wait until we get to 500. Thank those for conjuring me out of my dormant state. So for those who conjured me out, say thank you. Where you been? I've been fine. I've just been around, so I haven't, you know, but I am out of the country now. So I'm back in South America in the winter wonderland, and I'm in a new location that will only be disclosed to those who are on my Zoom. Because there's so many diabolical haters, especially those Deros. So, you know, I will be giving a log, a Frogger log. I'll be videotaping my journey in South America to several countries, and if you want to see, this is really a scouting trip to see best places for those of you who would like to leave the diabolical, because I'm going to put the forewarning out for you that your Willy Wonka system is gunning for you. And they're not only gunning for you, they are setting every last one of you up for either a concentration camp or for extermination. So we're going to get into it. This is not something for the, remember, you conjure me up. So I only come to you when I'm sweet and kind and funny and wonderful. But when you conjure me up and I got that fire in my belly, I'm going to give it to you. And I don't know that I can give you a chaser today. So if you don't mind, then by all means, once we get to 500, I will start. I hope everybody's well. And you know, I don't really hold my tongue. Maybe as a frog. Maybe that's like a quality of being an amphibian. I had to turn my internet back on to listen. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Merci, merci, Joseph. You feel sick when listen, the dirty electricity is off the chain. I want to give a shout out to Renata. We're going to shout out to my homie over outside of Russia, next to Jordan. Hugo Victor. So I want to give a shout out to them. They getting it in, and they're really getting not even shadow banned, just banned. It's not even shadow banned, is like being kind and sweet when your government is like, oh, we don't like what you're saying, but we don't want to be so overt. Being banned is like, motherfreakers, shut up. I'm sorry I'm talking like this. I burned my mouth eating something hot today, so I talk a little weird. So check on in. We're almost at 500. When I start off, listen, you know. So I hope everybody's well. I hope you're doing okay. I hope everyone is really, you know, being able to deal with the craziness that's going on in the world, the constant chaos, the fake news. Or rather, it's not fake news, it's orchestrated news, it's socially engineering news, it's MK Ultra news. Okay? And I know that your pooping president has been pooping in people's faces. And let me say, I apologize. I apologize for all of the military. Unfortunately, that was a subject of a violation by your pseudo artificial pooping president. I'm so sorry. Listen, flatulation and all those other things, I mean, I just, you know, I feel like if he's unable to control his derriere from the vril up his butt, then I really feel like we might have already lost. Let me behave myself. So check on in. Apparently, you had the new Cucarachi stand, but you still kick. Good, AJ. Listen, it's I can't say anything, but look, what I'll say is it is metallic. It isn't biological. It is AI metallic, nanoparticulates. That's what makes it a little different. You know what I mean? No medical, I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. Sometimes I'm a referee. Sometimes I can be a counselor. Sometimes it could be a little saucy too. Okay, we're almost at 500. Check on in. Oh, you appreciate me being a trans frog? I didn't think you guys would accept me for my new status. You know, sometimes I come on real froggy. So I thought I'd come on and just reveal myself immediately. So, you know, if you feel like you aren't able to accept my trans status, then, you know, I just give you the forewarning so you can step out of the room and just say, no, I can't deal with that today. Okay? Pooping puppet. I like that, Teresa. I think you're absolutely correct. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, Brianna, you know I heard about it. The ringworm of mass destruction. And remember what the vril is, everyone. Can we wait until I get to 500? Because when I start, I'm going in. And then tonight on Zoom, you guys will get the location where I'm at. I know my Zombies. Some of them knew I was traveling. So again, if you guys want to join me, you got frogs. I love that. If you guys want to join me tonight on Zoom, you can. And I will be doing my travel blog for my scouting, for my Zombies and others who want to travel as moms. If you want to travel as moms with children, because I travel a little differently than most, you know, a lot of males who travel solo, it's a little different for them. But I'm a woman, and I'm a woman of color. Well, I'm a melanated frog, so I'm green. So, you know, I have issues anyway. And then also, usually I travel sometimes with pets. So if you, in fact, wanted to learn and see the different safe zones to go to some of the same locations or some different locations that normally you won't see other bloggers do from the perspective I give, by all means, you join me. And I will have the, you know, the different places and videos, vlogging of the different places I go in South America, the different countries, and that way you can get a better perspective. And those are for those who are thinking of traveling to South America. If you're not, it's not a big deal. But for those who are, especially mommies or women, women of color, women who are solo or single, this gives you a really different perspective. Because again, ribbit, 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 ribbit. We're almost at 500. So you can go on through my Patreon if you want. That's only if you want. Don't join if you don't want to. That's only for those who want to come on either Zoom or the Patreon. You got to go through Patreon to be on it. But I'll be doing my traveling vlog there only because they've been harassing people who are showing, telling people. I think I'm one of the only people telling, oh, we're gone. We're at 500. Let's go. I'm one of the only people telling you to leave the United States. I told you already. Emergency. Emergency. Okay. Let's get it in. Peace to the east, west, north, south. This is Fleur Brun coming to you today with a new topic of discussion. So this is emergency ribbit. Froggy telecast, okay? And definitely this is something I don't think is friendly for children or people who are really paranoid already, or people who are just really just get sketchy when they hear information that might trigger them to be afraid. Okay, this is only for those who want to be purple pill. This is a purple pill televisation. Ribbit. This is only for those who don't mind being purple pilled. I always give you the preamps because some people say I fear bait you. So if you're fearful already, this definitely shouldn't be something you listen to. So I give you the forewarning. You come in here of your own accord. Okay, let's get it in. So as many of you know, the world is collapsing, the world that you knew previously. Your Willy Wonka systems are literally destroying everything that you knew and felt safe. A lot of your foods are contaminated with all kinds of different things that they've been adding. And I don't say it's just now. They've been doing this over the last few years. And unfortunately, your Willy Wonka governmental systems are setting up the populace for demolition. The United States is done. The United States is done, y'all. Again, this broadcast was, you should thank some of your other YouTube people that came in here, subscribers that conjured me out of the blue, because normally I do Zoom tonight and I still will do Zoom, but they wanted me to come out and talk about what's going on. And again, I don't feel it's right to know certain things and not really give you information. I go on other people's channels a lot of times now because, as you see, YouTube really loves me. And they've been giving me such a wonderful time lately. So I've just kind of like recoiled a little bit. But I'm out. I'm back. You're going to get purple pills, so let's get it in. So right now, we are close to the election time. As you saw, they have 34 charges against the orange president, while the other one's pooping on his own constituents. Okay, so you got one, you know how they said the orange is a new black, or the new black is orange? Whoops, I think it's one of the same. But as you see, many of the things that you normally used to take for granted are now changing. And also, normally during a political year, you see a lot of campaigning, you get a lot of phone calls, but if you notice, none of that is happening right now. Right now, you're noticing that there hasn't been any of the regular, you know, the normal broadcasting or campaigning or anything that you normally see. You aren't seeing that on any of your news sources or so on. You just hear people bashing everyone, Biden this, Trump this, and so on. It's a lot of propaganda, and it's meant to really confuse you and also to force you in one direction or another. As you know, we have so many other choices when it comes to voting. And, you know, voting is really not what you think it is. I personally know it is a selection. They always know who they're putting into power, in position. They play like, you know, paddle board with you, ping pong board. They basically ping you back and forth, putting you in one direction or another, pitting you with localized fear tactics, demonization of one side as opposed to the other. Remember, y'all, if you've been with me for the longest time, you know that the right is the left and the left is the right. There isn't any differential other than what they portray to you as a different system. Republican is the same as Democrat. The difference is that they're swinging it so far to one side, like a pendulum, and you know what happens when you swing to one side too hard. You're going to get a fast swing to the other side. You know that each side is the same. Their children all sleep with each other. They all hang out in the Swiss Alps. There is no country that is under independence, or if it is, it's being attacked. Okay, so if you see places like they all have an agreement. These are all, first of all, let me say, these are the real nations. The worm, the ringworm, the worm that they said goes in the eye, no, it goes up the derriere. Okay, I'm not a scientist. I'm a mentally ill patient. Do know that this isn't medical advice. I'm a comedian. This is a skit. Okay, because I'm a trans frog, and you know us frogs have no medical background. Okay, so all this we talked about the Vril. And you know the Vril Society they used to speak about that little worm that went in the eye, but then they would call it a reptilian. Well, I've surmised that it is very much a worm, but it is not going in your eye, it is going in your butt. And this is why they promote very unsavory, very non kosher sexual acts, to allow for this worm to be able to get into someone's body and to take over the entirety of that body. Now, we talked about the zombie snail and the zombie ant, remember? And we talked about even the zombie, they're talking about the zombie deer. You do know that why they're called zombies, because they're taken over by what? Parasites, some type of parasitic being. But most of you think that parasites are biological. What if I told you that some of the parasites can be nanoparticulates, acting as if they're biological, having a programmed directive to hijack the entire body by getting in the body and changing the wiring, changing the thinking. So that is why they're promoting a certain kind of disposition right now, because it is easier for the vril to get inside of you if you're acting in a very unusual sexual manner. Okay? I want to keep it clean as much as I can, because we do have little people on here. And mommies, I said, mamas, abuelas, daddies, big brothers, big sisters, just put the headphones on so that I'm not putting this in, in their minds, because this is something I feel is very important. So why is this important? Because we're at a time where you are getting the most rocked to sleep. Why is because many people aren't feeling well due to a lot of things that could be in your food or not in your food. It's not in your food. It's not in your chicken. It's not in your beef. No, they're not putting stuff in those. They're not putting it in your vegetables. They're not leaching it into your soil by the sky called chemtrails. No, they're not doing that. They're not putting things inside of you that you have taken, you've given consent to. Of course not. Please don't listen to crazy people telling you that these things are bad for you, that they're putting inside of you and putting inside your arm. These people are mentally ill. They could not be more wrong. Okay? Just know that everything that Willy Wonka is promoting to you is absolutely holistic and wonderful, including the nanoparticulates that are being sprayed all over the sky, and what used to be called Mogellons. And remember, I am a comedian. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But all I'm saying is that between the vril up your butt and the metal particulates that are coming down from the sky, crawling in people's skin, that, really, when you say to yourself, when they said there was going to be an alien invasion, well, God darn it. If you didn't know any better, the alien invasion has been oncoming since before 2020. Okay? And this is a broadcast telling you completely that your Willy Wonka, the vril, and the what are they called? The Daros. The Daros are the big elephant nose creatures that are subterranean and they're unnatural. If you want to go and watch the show Dark Crystal, you will get a better idea of what the Daros are, the Skeksis. So when I talk about the Daros, I'm really talking about the Skeksis, but the mystics are the same. They make it seem different, but if you look at the characteristics of the Skeksis and the mystics, they both have a very physical look to them that is very likened to the Daros. And if you watch the Dark Crystal, if you actually watch the series, and I know that you guys think it's corny, I know that you think it's like Jim Henson, but that was like the simulation warning to you. These beings aren't from here. They see you as a food source. They are utilizing everyone as a food source. Organs being harvested, now they're talking about, the bus drivers are contracted for the children's buses. Some of the people, teachers working at school who are contracted, nurses are contracted. There are people being contracted specifically to be able to traffic and harvest children. So when you think of a bus driver, oh, they're just a bus driver, they just need the job. What if I told you that there's a news article talking about the child traffickers are all in the school districts and hired? And then when your child goes on a school bus, if your child looks appealing, if their skin has really nice melanation, boa noite, If your child looks appealing to an adult, they auction them off and they videotape them. This is according to the news. This isn't my information. They record them on a school bus and they basically sell them to perverts and pedophiles online. Do you understand what time this is? And listen, y'all, this is a global issue, but this is the concentration of perverts is in the United States. Most of your drugs, your trafficking, and if you live next door to Darrow's for some reason like to live next to melanated communities. Let me talk to the melanated community. I told you this is going to be a broadcast that will gaslight you all day. If you are not prepared for the purple pilling I'm about to give you, please check out, because I'm about to say some things that's going to put some fire underneath your butt, and you're going to have to make some decisions with your family. And I don't come to you. I'm out of the country. I'm in South America. I'm in a beautiful place. It is wintertime here. So as you see, I'm fully clothed. But I'm coming with you with the real. You conjured me out of my dormant sleep with the zombies, and you go and get it all today. Okay? And I'm going to give it to you real. Because I haven't been contracted by a governmental Willy Wonka system. I haven't been contracted by the Cats in Array. I've been contracted by the other alphabet people. Okay, I'm not getting paid by other Willy Wonka dark ops, because the ops are everywhere and they're in every group. They're in every place. They watch you. They watch us. They watch our channels. They make sure that anyone who's telling you what I'm saying now is not able to do so, because they shadow ban you. And it's not even shadow banning. They basically stop you from speaking. Okay. So I'm giving it to you 1000%. And this isn't like Jaguar. Please don't compare me to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright is a snitching, loathing, underdog that is bitter. She is just giving you information because she's mad that she didn't make it in the musical industry. I don't trust people who have other people give them secrets and tell them private things and then tell everybody out. I don't care if they're celebrities. She was in that world. She was good so long as she didn't get kicked out and was a failure in her occupation. But now that she's out, she's just throwing everyone a bus. Don't ever trust anyone. I don't care if they say they're doing good. If she was doing good, she would have told everybody what was going down at the time it was going down. You don't wait this long to disclose information after the deeds and the dirt and the crimes have been done. People who really care about people talk about it at the time. If you see someone getting raped, if you see Aaliyah getting raped by an adult, R. Kelly, you don't wait 20 years after the girl's dead to say something about it. You say it then. That's why you don't trust people like that. All these celebrity whistleblowers, they are just bitter betties. They didn't make it in the industry. The only reason they're telling about now is because they can't make any money. So what they do is just use all the information that they were told and use it now. You shouldn't trust her. She is just an opportunist loser who uses the internet as a way to vent out all of the secrets that she was so comfortable taking in and keeping to herself until it was right time to disclose it. Anyway, no shade but shade. Okay? You shouldn't trust people like that. Anybody who has a friend, listen, you're my friend, and you disclose information to me and when we were friends, and let's say we're not friends anymore, I'm telling you, I wouldn't tell your secrets. That's somebody who is like a snake in the grass. And I shouldn't even disrespect serpents in that way. Okay? She's a snake in the grass. People who constantly take in your information, don't tell people your personal information. Because if they throw on you can see by their behavior, if they have other friends that they disclose their personal information after they fall out, that's not somebody you want to tell your secrets to. Because when you fall out with them, they'll tell your secrets. Okay? Anyway, so let's get back to the real up the butt. Ribbit. Big up to everybody. Please put a like in the video with a handy dandy video if you think this should stay up and this is information that you like to hear. Thank the other YouTube followers that came in and conjured me out of my sleep in my dormant froggy amphibian sleep. I am in another country. It is winter time, so you see me with clothes which you rarely see me with. So appreciate that the girls are not out today and I'm nice and warm. Okay, so let's get into it. So we're talking about the Willy Wonka system that's setting you up. Everything is infiltrated from above and below. Now, when I give this information, and like I said, if you want, for all the mommies, I always say for the mommies, abuelas, aunties, anyone who's thinking of leaving, because I'm going to tell you that I suggest that everyone leaves the country, especially women and children. Listen to me. I've never said it this raw to you. And, oh, I'm having deja vu. I've never been this raw with you before. I've never told you completely that you should leave. every woman and child, you should leave the country. I'm letting you know, I haven't ever said this, you need to leave. And right now I'm doing a series, and it's only for you guys, because I know what it's like to leave with your children and feel like you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. So I'm doing a series of traveling through South America as a woman of color with children. And if you come to my Patreon, you will see me vlog every day places that I go, safe zones, so that you get to see how beautiful it is in other places, how you'll be received. I know a lot of women of color are very hesitant because we get treated very differently in a lot of places. So this time, you know, you see I'm a melanated woman, I have melanated children, and when I travel, you get a chance to vlog, you get a chance to ask me personal questions. I'll answer all your questions. If you need advice on relocation and doing stuff, you can do so. So you can come to my Patreon and do that. I'm only doing it there, and normally I do it here, but Willy Wonka is coming so hard for anyone who's trying to promote this that I have a family. So that's why you don't hear me very often, but I promised some of my Zombies I would do it for them. And if you come to the channel and you support me that way, I will definitely do it for you. And this way you can ask me and say, hey, how do they treat the children? You can see the places that I go. You can see, like, are they food friendly? You know, I always go places with blood type friendly places. So right now I'm in a country, which you get to find out later if you sign up with me. I'm in a country that is O positive mostly. So big up to all the O positives in the room. Let me give a shout out to y'all. I'm in a country that is solely, mostly 73% or 76% O positive. It's cold right now. It's wintertime in South America, and you will know that tonight. I'll be on with Zoom. The Zombies will find out, but you guys get to find it. So at least you'll see places that I go. I'm going to go to a couple countries, countries that most people, well, at least, you know, it's not necessarily somewhere that people like moms and so on would go. So you get to see me travel and ask me questions and see if things would be fine. So what I will suggest, and I'm telling you, I haven't ever warned you this, for all the moms, abuelas, aunties, women, and children, men, if you want to stay, you stay. If you don't want to go, I always say women are the ones who are most vulnerable. If you see every war that is out here, the number one person being trafficked are children and women. My number one goal is to make sure that women, children are safe. The country is out of control. The United States is not the only country. United Fakes is not the other country. Europe is going through actually similar